Yo people, what's good? How's everyone doing? It's your boy Sheltastic on Sheltastic Sports with another video. This one, obviously AJ versus Usyk, or Usyk versus AJ 2. Rage on the Red Sea, it was doomed. I know I'm late on it, don't shoot me. I'm now just catching up with everything. So you're gonna get a lot of uploaded videos now. But yeah, we'll talk about this fight. Obviously I was rooting for AJ to win. He come up short against the better man. Usyk just it started well. AJ had the right tactics, and one thing I will give credit, he never went away from them. You could say arguing the first fight, he kind of was just trying to survive in there, but this fight he was trying to stop him all the way right until the end. And then he had moments in there where you could see he visibly hurt Usyk to the stomach, but he just couldn't capitalize. And it's easy to say he can't capitalize. Usyk plays mind, it controls your mind with movement. Same like Lomachenko. Same like with Floyd Mayweather. These kind of fighters, you think that they're there to hit and they're not. And then the time when you should hit them, because they've made you miss so many times prior. When they're there to be hit, they've put so much doubt in your mind from all the other times before. You don't throw that punch because you're thinking about counter, but they're not even in range. Also, they're not. You should be throwing the punches, but you're just scared to get countered. And I think that's what Usyk does eventually, slowly breaks you down like that. And that's what I think I saw with AJ. But AJ was still throwing. And especially that night throw when he really hurt Usyk and he had him going. He just needed to come out in the 10th and go back. I just think I don't know why he went back to the head. He should have gone stuck right back on the stomach and just try and get him to the ropes and let off the combinations we know he can. And then switch it upstairs, you know. But listen, easier said than done. Usyk's a great champion, and you know I'd like to see him as Fury, because I think even if Fury likes to joke across, he's a middleweight. I think he gives Fury all kinds of problems. But you know that's a separate video for another time if they ever do get in the ring. But yeah, unlucky for AJ. But you know what? You know a lot of people talking about the after fight and stuff. Listen, emotions take control. AJ probably woke up the next morning and thought maybe I shouldn't have thrown the belts out the ring and stuff like that. But you know, we can't be two-faced people, be hypocrites. Because one minute we're saying that AJ's too PC and he's not himself and this and that and he's this and that. And when he comes to be himself, oh, he can't. But don't get me wrong. Look, what AJ did is what happens in every household right now. Everybody has a meltdown, you know. Life's getting a bit harder now. We already know what's coming with the energy bills and stuff, right? So things get hard. So some people, what AJ did is happening in every household every day somewhere, you know. It's just that he did it on live TV and we watched it. Do you know what I mean? The guy's putting so much into boxing, and he gets so much pressure when people like the Furies, the Wilders have done not even half what he's had to do, or had half the pressure he's had. Sorry, and they were in the sport longer than him, and they piggybacked off the back of his name, but people don't see that. And everybody, as soon as AJ loses or doesn't do well, oh, he's not that good, or you know what I mean. But when Fury and that comes in, when Fury picks and chooses when he wants to fight. And then he fights who he wants to fight as well. He doesn't fight killers after killers after killers like AJ. He spaces them out. He does kind of what Mayweather did. He just spaced out people. If AJ did Fury tactics, he'd still be unbeaten now. You just remember Fury had the opportunities to fight Usyk after the first AJ loss at the first fight, and he decided, no, you know, he's gonna fight Dylan. And I wonder why he fought Dylan. Could have fought Dylan 3 years ago. Why did he do that? Because you saw Dylan get iced out by Povetkin and thought, the chink in the armor. You know, I ain't gonna take Usyk's tough fight. I'm gonna take Dylan because he's worn out now. He self-doubts himself. He's just, you know what I mean? And you know, we saw what happened in the Fury Dylan fight anyway. See? So you know, he may joke around to the public and say, oh, he's this middleweight. The Fury knows what the threat Usyk is, and he gives him all kinds of problems. And if Fury ever steps in the ring with him, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But as for this fight, yeah, again, AJ. My hat's off to you, man. You did there. You took yourself to a dark place, like you said in your pre-match. And look, you come from, you know what I mean? You come from the ends as well, bro. So it's end of the day, man. You've come a long way. You know, your journey is respected, definitely from myself. You know, what you've done. You've made generation. You're still making generation after generation of wealth for your family, and you know, future. And that's what we're supposed to do if we get the opportunities. And you've done that. So nothing but love here, bro. You don't have to worry about everything else. I preyed everything. And seeing the differences, the double standards that you have to face compared to the likes of Fury, you know. If Fury can come out and say what he wants randomly, and all of a sudden, you know, people forget what Fury was getting, but why people didn't like Fury in the first place, you know. Certain comments, talking about certain demographic of people and stuff like that, you know. But that's another separate video. I'm not gonna make it a political thing. But yeah, well done, AJ, man. Obviously, you know you want to fight on. Even if you ever walked away and said you done amazing, that's all I'd say. And you've been a two-time unified champion. Not many people have even been world champion. You know, small percent of people become world champion, let alone to hold 3 belts twice. So shout out to you. Do your thing, man. Don't watch nothing. But yeah, as for Usyk, you know, like I said, that's the only fight I want to see, him versus Fury. And I know Usyk's on it. He's on smoke. You know, Usyk's been going from country to country to country to fight champion after champion after champion. So he's on smoke. And you know what I mean? So if Fury really wants it, Usyk's down for it. You already know this. And that's how I respect Usyk, you know. And again, fighting for his people, Ukraine, you can only respect that. There's a lot of pressure on him as well. A lot of people talk about AJ pressure, about his career and on the line and that, but there's a lot of pressure for Usyk as well. He's fighting for his whole nation, and you got to respect that, you know. So love and respect to yourself, my guy. Well done for your performance, man. You're just a phenomenal guy. Talent, and yeah, long may you continue to do what you're doing, and hopefully if you get in a fight and we can find out who the very #1 is, you know. But yeah, that's all I'd really say on it. Great fight. It was a much better fight than the first fight. Much better, a lot more competitive, and it was tick for tack in rounds. But you know, Usyk did win. He did do better, but the gap wasn't as big as it was, say, the first fight. So you give credit to AJ as well. But yeah, man, that's all. That's my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? Even the meltdown after, what do you lot think about it? And yeah, you know, leave your comments below, share, like, subscribe, all that beautiful stuff, people. And that's your boy Chef Tasik. I'm out, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Peace.